Hey, I'm in there. It's the podcast. It's 110. We on the corner, baby. It's how we feeling. Hey, I had an interesting weekend. My guy said, this is America. This is America's music. Hey, I felt like this was too. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit.
I'm in the building right now.
We in the building.
Hey, listen to me 1 minute. Hey, you know how this shit really supposed to be going.
Yeah, it's that way. Let's go.
Still got 2 phones in the trenches where the rivals at. Put the stamp on in the back room, I'm with all of that. Started in the trap, bought a knife and a pie. I come from the same place, we still hustle when it's hot. Make America trap again. Make America trap again. Make America trap again.
She said she didn't feel America.
Trap again. Connected with the plug, we keep that on the low. I got it out the mud, going hard is all I know. Trying to make the trap great again, great again. Trying to make the trap great again, great again. I dropped the time on first time, non-violent offenders.
What up?
The bricks to 13.5, right in the city. Drop the gas to $1.35. I'm trying to get richer. Let the families from Mexico go be back with their children.
Yep.
Larry Hoover, Jeff Ford, they political prisoners.
They treat the
Muslims unfair.
Yes, sir. That's how we feeling, baby. That's how we feeling. It's a lot of love in the real. It's a lot of love in the building. It's a lot of love in the building.
A lot of love.
Hey, to my left, I got Grant. In front of me, I got my guy, engineer Alex. How you guys doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Great, man. Great. I had a little,
Yeah,
a little bit on
let's
my chest,
talk
man.
about what's going on with this song. So you were a little nervous about playing this song,
I was.
a little
I was.
hesitant, but
Very.
I think that's what this show's all about.
Yeah, man. I had an interesting weekend, and with the weekend, it was it was interesting, man.
Some shenanigans.
It was interesting, but that's what makes family great.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, how was your Christmas, man? How was Christmas? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. I think we gave a shout out on our Twitter page, our Facebook fan page as well. Wanted to say Merry Christmas to everyone, to your loved ones. Hope you all had a great Christmas.
Yeah, everyone.
Did your
I had a great Christmas.
what Santa bring you? What kind of
Oh
gifts
well,
Santa
Santa didn't bring me nothing, but
what you bring? What kind of gifts you give?
actually, so last week I made a joke about my Russian mail order bride, which my mom didn't appreciate.
Yeah, I didn't.
But yeah, no, my fiance's name is Ashley. She's lovely, you know Ashley.
Hey, what's up, Ash?
What's up, Ashley? But we got her. Me and my mom have been planning a bit of a ruse for a while, and we got her a ring. Well, she gave Ashley the ring that she wore when I was pregnant.
Oh my God!
So yeah, that's her wedding ring now.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Grant and Ashley. We love you all from the 110 podcast.
Yep. And
Man, that's
pretty excited. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Love is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So I set it behind her after she was done opening all our gifts, and I was like, oh, I think you forgot one. And then she looked around and she was like, oh, yeah. So it was pretty cool.
That's a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
man. Hey, congratulations.
Yep.
Congratulations.
So it was cool to be able to do that in front of my family.
I bet.
What'd you do?
Nothing. I did a lot of shopping up until that point, and I gave a lot of gifts. I purchased a lot of gifts. I was excited, man. I had an exciting time with my family, my friends, men. I didn't drink any this weekend. I was super excited. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
Man, it was hard on me, but I messed with that pen a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yes.
There you go.
Yes, my friend. It's been a while, but we enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to wind down.
Yeah, all
You
the
know.
way.
It's a stressful world we live in. You got to make it trap again somehow.
Yes, man. So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, what do you want to start with?
Well,
lot of shenanigans in the college football world this week.
man, a lot of shenanigans
Some
in the
good,
world.
some good, some bad.
How was your picks last week, though?
I had a bit of a rough week. I've been on a heater though, so I was kind of wondering when that was going to come to an end. So, you once you're riding that heater, once you take a couple licks, and it's earlier bowl games. I don't know the most about these teams, so I feel like I'm going to bounce back.
Well,
You did pretty well though.
I was excited about it. I was really
excited
excited
about
about my picks. I was disappointed with the way Army.
Dismantled Houston.
Oh my gosh. Houston is losing their offensive coordinator, Kendall Briles,
Yep.
and he's going to
Florida State.
Florida State.
To ultimately fail under the direction of Willie Taggart.
Now,
Who we all know how I feel about that.
Exactly. Losing by 56 points, and you go to Florida State, which has a much bigger fan base, and expectations are a lot higher. You wonder if that's the right choice. Because I don't really feel as though Kendall Briles was the right man for that job as the OC.
I wouldn't want to go to Florida State just because, I don't know. I don't really know where they're going right now. It's kind of like it's Clemson's conference. I'm just going to come out and say that. Listen, Clemson kind of just poops on everybody except for one random like Pittsburgh or something like that every year. Well, they'll drop one, but they didn't fall victim this year.
Well, if Willie Taggart has the same season he had last year, it's going to be a very, very long year for him.
Or a very short year.
You think they'll get rid of him in the middle of the season?
Oh, if he opens like 0-3, yeah, you bet it.
Man.
Why wouldn't you?
Well,
he inherited a team that went like 9-4 the year before,
right, with Jimbo Fisher.
And then he
Jimbo
went
Fisher.
what 5-7 or 4-8, something like that.
Let's look that up.
They ain't going bowling. I know that much.
Well, Francois is looking at testing the NFL market.
God, that guy. I like Francois a lot, but man, he's got some mileage on him.
And that isn't good though. That isn't.
No.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I thought Francois he had a tough time transitioning this season, but and that could be based on the leg injury that he had, but ultimately Blackman is going to be the backup, and I think he's a good quarterback.
I think he's okay. Well, I'll rephrase that. I think he's above average, but I don't think he's gonna like Francois is at a different level. I think he just doesn't seem. I don't like him as much as the other Florida State quarterbacks that we've seen come through there, like Winston and Francois as of late. I don't think he's the same caliber guy
At all?
I think he could be, but right now, no. He's way behind where Francois was as a freshman, way behind where Winston was as a freshman. Comparing Winston as a freshman is probably a little unfair, but yeah, I just don't think he's as far along, and that might be because his coach is the worst one of all.
Willie Taggart? You think Willie's that bad?
Between him and
Well,
Jimbo
no,
Fisher.
Willie, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Chicho.
Those guys were coached by Jimbo, so yeah, I think he's in for a tougher time.
Florida State went 5-7 last year.
Yeah.
I
Nerds.
believe you go after Justin Fields, who's ultimately leaving. He's leaving Georgia. That is over. It's a wrap at Georgia.
Why would you want to go to Florida State, though, if you're him? Why wouldn't you want to go to Oklahoma?
Well, he's not. They said He's a done deal in Ohio State.
He's going to Ohio State?
Done dealio.
Oh.
They said it's good as done. They said
Well, that makes sense. He's going to go sit behind Haskins for a year because he's got to sit out the year, and then Haskins will be going to the NFL because Haskins is a redshirt freshman this year.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, they said
Or he's a true sophomore.
I think he's a
can't
true.
remember.
I think
Yeah.
he's a true sophomore.
Because they changed the redshirt rules this year, right?
Right.
And okay. So yeah, he's a true sophomore then.
He had a first round grade though.
No, he will. That's what I'm saying is he'll probably. I mean, him and the kid from Oregon, if he decides to stay, I don't know if he has or not. They'll be the top couple picks next year. I think Dwayne Haskins is probably going to be the number one quarterback taken next year.
I think so.
Yeah,
Hands down.
Well, between him and Tua, if Tua goes out,
Oh, you think I would take Dwayne Haskins over Tua?
I would take Tua.
I think he has a bigger arm than Tua.
I think Tua is a better version of Russell Wilson.
I think that is true. My only problem with Tua is this knee injury because he just had surgery on his ankle, or that's what they say.
Yeah.
But he had surgery.
But I know Tua can stand in there and deliver, just a perfect dime, and take a lick.
Would you rather have a player that hasn't been cut on compared to a player that has been cut on?
As far as just
a quarterback.
As far as just like the hits that they're taking.
Well, I mean, based on what Alabama is saying, he just had that ankle. He had a surgery on the ankle injury. Now that's ironic because Jalen had surgery on the ankle as well.
Yeah, and then he lost his job.
Right.
I mean, I think you always want someone who's not had surgery, but
right.
The reality of football at that level is you're probably going to have surgery. If you make it to the NFL, you're probably going to have surgery at some point. So that doesn't really bother me. It's really, and anymore, they seem to be so advanced in the medical field now.
Right.
That
right.
really, it seems to be more like your mind state when you come back. Because you got, Adrian Peterson tore his ACL, which 15 years ago was a death sentence.
Right.
And he comes back the next year and breaks a couple records, or is on the doorstep of breaking the single season record, I think. And then you got guys like Robert Griffin who got hurt and just never really came back. You also saw that with Frank Gore 19 times over, because he's got no knees left.
True.
He's interesting fact. He wears the number 21 because that's how many times he's torn his ACL. I don't know if anyone knew that, but you heard it here first on 110 Ocean Drive.
Well, when you see Carson Wentz this year, when you watch Carson Wentz this year, he does not look well. They also said he had a fractured vertebrae, but you don't look at Carson Wentz from the surgery he had last year and think that he's the same player. He looks very jittery in the pocket. He didn't run as much this season. It was a shaky season for them, and I believe that's just based on the quarterback play, him adjusting to that surgery. And I think that when you look at a player like Tua compared to Dwayne, they play completely different. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Big Ten compared to the SEC is a completely different conference.
Yeah, the Big Ten's. I mean, Dwayne Haskins had the advantage of not playing against his own defensive line.
Right.
Not, because outside Ohio State and Michigan, I mean, Michigan State had a really good defensive line. Iowa had a pretty good one, but you don't have that same, there's no Josh Allen's running around or, any of those other guys. You don't have those Georgia defenses. You don't got the Kentucky defense. You don't got, Florida's always bound to have someone. LSU's always going to have a nasty defense.
Right. I think it's different. I think it's really different. I don't get me wrong. I like Dwayne Haskins a lot.
I do too.
Big fan of him.
I think he's going to have a little bit of trouble with how much faster the game is in the NFL.
Right.
Because-
and that's what Tua already has.
Yeah.
Because the game doesn't get any faster than the SEC.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know. I see him kind of shy away from hits a little too often for my liking. So, while I like both of them, I just like Tua a little bit better.
I like Tua too, but he's Alabama. So I'm
Yeah.
going Dwayne first quarterback off the board.
Okay. I
First
think that's
quarterback
fair.
off the board. So what about this? Ohio State is getting the new coach,
Ryan Day.
but Ryan Day is now going to be answering to the new assistant AD,
Director of Football Operations.
Urban Meyer.
Yeah, assistant AD, quotation marks.
Well, at first he said he was going to be teaching a class. Now,
Urban Meyer's not gonna teach
now he's
a
an
class.
assistant AD.
What is he going to teach a class on? How to, I'm not going to say that, actually. Never mind.
You knew
It was going to be a little shady.
you knew what the class was going to be. Hey, I think that's good for recruiting.
I think that's I actually was really excited about him leaving. This makes me a little less excited because this is for me, like, just, I think this prevents a lot, I don't really see how anything's going to change because Ryan Day's still going to be reporting to Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer's still going to have his finger on that. So,
How do you think that how much better of a recruiting class do they have now to know that Urban Meyer is still there? Because a lot of kids were thinking to themselves, Urban's gone, he's retiring,
Yeah.
he's out the door. How does that change the dynamic of recruiting for Ohio State?
well, I mean, I think you're going to see, I think you've already seen definitely a step back for them. But that's, I think that'll kind of level out, but it's not going to be the same. It's just going to be like when Nick Saban leaves Alabama. Like, they're still going to be getting top 10 classes, but it's just not going to be the same. They're not going to be as involved with, like, the scouting and all that, I don't think. And that's really where, Urban Meyer's always gone out and gotten his guy.
Right.
Like when he got J.T. Barrett, like when he got Dwayne Haskins, like when he got Braxton Miller, like when he got Tim Tebow at Florida. Like that kind of thing. He's Alex Smith at Utah.
Right.
He's got, and when you lose that perspective, that eye, I think that's where you'll see it.
Well,
The star ratings are going to stay about the same.
right, exactly. Urban Meyer is going to be that assistant. Now, mind you, they just made up this position. We know that.
Yeah.
They just made up this assistant AD position so Urban can stay involved in football and he can keep his finger on the trigger. Because ultimately, even if he's not out on the road recruiting, he's going to be there to make the phone call, and Ryan Day is going to say, "Hey, we're with Justin Fields right now."
Yeah.
This is for me. This is probably how it went. We're with Justin Fields right now, Coach. Hey, you want to say something to Justin? Urban Meyer's on the phone. Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, Coach Meyer."
Yeah.
He's engaged there.
He's still going to be. I think it gives him a lot of recruits right now. I think it gives him a lot of it, and recruiting is pretty fickle, but it's going to get. I think it gives the recruits a temporary boost in confidence. Ultimately, it's going to come down to long term how they perform on the field and how he scouts and recruits
Right.
on his own. But I don't see much of a drop off. I think he's got enough support now. I think putting Urban, as far as a football standpoint, putting Urban Meyer in that position is the best possible decision that they could have made, even if he was going to stay, because now you kind of get away from that controversy. Ohio State's no stranger to that. They get to keep the guy who was in charge still in charge. So really, not much should change. You're not going to get the same game or week to week success though. You cannot expect Ryan Day to go 82-9 in his first 101 games. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's not, and that's what I talked about a couple weeks ago. When you lose a legend, you can't expect him to go 82-9. It's
Right.
probably not going to happen. If it does, that's great. But I mean, you can't just hold him to that expectation.
I don't, man. You know what, Grant? I don't think they have a drop off. I don't think they have much of a drop off at all.
You're not going to see it until a couple years down.
It's gonna
'Cause,
have
I
to
mean,
be. Yeah.
there's not going to really be much difference between this year's team and last year's team,
Right.
or this upcoming team and this year's team, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we have this bigger issue right now in football with the two young men out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yep.
Murder. Bow.
Yep.
Now it's called self-defense. They got them. They said it was self-defense for them, but they killed somebody.
Yeah.
Running back,
And it was-
linebacker.
Yep. And they were selling a PlayStation, right?
Well, they said it was.
And then it went
they didn't
sideways.
They didn't want to disclose the electronic device that was in question,
Yeah.
but I know it was 2 pistols involved.
Yeah. And Louisiana's a weird state with gun laws because you don't have to register or something like that, right? I was hearing something about that. Not sure how credible, but you're from down there.
Hey man, I don't know Louisiana laws.
Me
that's
neither.
That's a man. Hey, that's a tough place right there, man. It's a tough spot.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's going to come down to what other details they get, but I mean, if they were defending themselves, then, you know, this is what I always talk about. This is what we were talking about with the Kareem Hunt. Like with kids that age, just stay home. Just stay home.
Yeah.
And these things wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I thought that these young men would. I wonder this, and this is my only question, because it was the backup running back and the backup linebacker. Why are these young men having to sell PlayStation devices to get money? When
True.
When the school is making so much money off of them.
Yeah.
Why is that happening? They should not have to do that. I mean, don't get me wrong. They come from different situations as far as financially for their family, but they should not have to sell their PlayStation device to make a few extra dollars.
Yeah. Well, and
When your coach is making $5 million a year, no, it's no way in hell you should be out there at 18 years old at night selling PlayStations. Now,
Yeah,
don't get
I
me
mean-
wrong. Everyone says, well, they could have been doing X, Y, and Z, but at the end of the day, they shouldn't have been out there doing that
No.
anyway to make
And
a few dollars.
there's a
$200.
couple- Yeah, there's a couple different things there. Like those kids obviously, I don't know the specifics, but I believe that even once all that comes out, I'm still going to believe that they should have just removed themselves from that situation, not put themselves in that situation. Because when you're talking about selling stuff through, like, I imagine it was like Craigslist or Facebook or something like that.
Right.
That's always risky, you know? Like, you never know. You're going to meet someone that you don't know, and somewhere that, you just don't know. So that has always made me nervous. Whenever I've never really gone out and sold anything on one of those because I don't really want to deal with it. But the bigger issue here for me is, like, at what point are the SEC and the NCAA going to come together and start figuring out what the real situation is down there? Because you see this all the time in the SEC.
Right.
You see this every year. And at what point are the institutions going to do what they say they do and actually, like, provide these kids whatever they need so they don't feel like they need to put themselves in these situations?
Yeah, man.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, they have the financial resources. You have your boosters. that are out there giving tons of money to the school.
Yeah.
I know that, you can't say that they're paying the players, but I believe that the NCAA, the entire NCAA as a whole, has to look at situations like this and think to themselves, it has to be some type of compensation for these players.
Well, the compensation part too, but to me, it's egregious that they're so quick to just like throw these kids to the side, but there's no preventative measures that are taken. Like when these kids show up at campus, there should be some kind of evaluation on like, what does this kid need? Where are they from? What are they used to? Do they need to be, is it like Tim Tebow where you can just kind of let him do whatever and, he's going to be a good leader? Or is it a kid who's like a Maurice Claret who comes from a bad place, hasn't known anything but struggle? Like, when are they going to identify those people, the at-risk guys,
right,
and put them in do a better job putting them in positions to succeed and teaching them the right way?
Well,
because that's really what they're there for, right?
Exactly.
Is to become men and be taught the right way and to become better people. So why aren't they doing that? That's my problem.
Right. You have to do better. I guess as a whole, the NCAA has to do better by these kids. I know everyone feels as though they are, and a lot of people may say they may be critical of what we're saying, as far as, well, again, and we talked about this in the past. They're giving them an education, but it's more than that. These kids are leaving their homes to be, around people they don't know. They're creating new relationships. You're now, as the head coach, you're basically their father,
and especially
a father figure for them.
And especially at those big time schools, they go from coming from nothing to having everything. You can't just if you gave me everything like those kids have when I was 18, I would have screwed it up too.
Yeah.
And I did it without the fame. I screwed it up without any of that.
Hey, I did too. I did too.
Because when you're 18, you're minute to minute. You're not thinking about what's gonna happen 2 years down the road. And they just they let one moment. They're so quick, and there are a lot of bad apples, right? That happens. But I'm so sick of just people, that mentality. Like, there's, it's just a thug. We need to make sure that we're doing better by them, in my opinion.
No, 100%. 100%. So, when I was younger, I left Alabama to go play ball in California. And I'll never forget it, man. It was, I was getting on the plane. First time I'd ever left my mother and my father to go anywhere for real. And go to California. My dad had talked me up on it. He was like, yeah, you should go explore California, see what they have to offer. I get to California, touch down in Pasadena. I get off at the LAX, and our top wide receiver is there to pick me up. So he picks me up, and I'm there for a few days, and the coach tells me, hey, listen, you need $600 to pay for your rent. Now, mind you, I'm rooming with one. It was me, Dexter, Ohio, Cipriano, and it was one more guy. So it's like four of us, but we're paying $600 to stay in this place. So
there's another problem I don't understand.
My dad tells me, he says, Martavius, listen, I'm gonna send you the $600. So he sends it to me. I pay. I give it to my coach or whatever. So for my fees, however that went.
Yeah.
And
board.
But the whole room and board thing. Yeah. So the next month, before I asked for the next $600, my dad is like, listen. Now I'm thinking room and board is coming in my. No, it wasn't that, because I was staying off campus.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Listen, you have to find a way to make some money out here." I was like, "For real?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And that was the point, man. I think that was one of the highlights of my life, was to learn how to be able to survive without the support from my parents. Now, mind you, my mother and my father, they would send me whatever I needed. But at that point, I knew as a man, I was 17. As a man, I thought to myself, it was nothing that I was gonna do but get this money. I was like, I gotta get this money by any means necessary. Now, a lot of people may think, to themselves, like, why do you just go get a job? Listen, I'm a player. I play ball. That's all I knew.
You don't have time.
Yeah, so I couldn't go to your local, I don't know, your local mall and just get a job and think to yourself, I was gonna be able to do school, play ball, and then work a job to get the money. So, and then it's California, so everything is more expensive anyway.
Yep.
I'm staying in Old Pasadena, so I'm thinking to myself, like, I got it. I gotta be ambitious.
Yeah.
You gotta go out here and hustle. So when I read the story about these guys from LSU and my man is selling his PlayStation to get some money, that's the first thing I thought too.
Yeah.
I was like, clearly they're not getting any money from this institution.
Yeah.
You got to go out here and make it happen by any means. And if you're from Louisiana, you know it ain't easy for you. You know you're gonna have to go out here and you have to grind. You have to hustle. You have to be ambitious. You have to strive for greatness, because at the end of the day, you are the only option. Sometimes you can't depend on your mother and father to go out here and give nothing to you.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm talking about. Is there's different situations for all these kids, and like someone at some point needs to address the bigger problem there, and because it's all so reactionary, like even in the NFL, it's just Kareem Hunt does what he does, and no one really pays attention to it, and then they see the video and then they react. Obviously not okay what he did, but like everything's so reactionary. They're just so quick to be like, oh, he's a terrible person. Not that obviously what he did was horrible, but you need to figure out ways to prevent that. And there's all these players that the NCAA especially fails, because it's just they let one moment define their whole character.
Absolutely right. I absolutely agree 100%. Well, I wanted to say to those young men out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, we wish you all the best. Sorry for the lost one. Sorry for the family that lost their son in this matter. Our prayers go out to you and your family.
I just hope it wasn't something where they planned to do that and there was intent. I just really hope there wasn't any intent,
Yeah, that situation as a whole is sad.
Yeah, it is.
3 young men, and 1 man has lost his life from that.
And
tragic situation.
2 others potentially will lose their life to it too.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know. Like it could lead them down a very dark path.
Yeah, right now it's an ongoing investigation. So, it's that's a traumatic experience for anybody. For maybe a young man that's never pulled his pistol out before to protect himself, and then when he does, shots are fired, a life is gone. Life is gone. A young man is gone too soon.
Yeah, and that's guns are just they should just be in the hands of I don't get why as an 18-year-old, I don't get why people expect an 18-year-old to be able to make that decision, or when to use a gun, when not to.
Tough situation.
It's just it's just sad.
Now
all around.
Let's talk about this. On a lighter note, though, Jalen Ferguson, Louisiana Tech. I picked you guys over Hawaii.
I took Hawaii. Because it was a home game, and they got slaughtered on their home field.
Ass whooping.
Yeah.
31-17. Jalen Ferguson, D1 double A. No, it was a D1 athlete. The D1 double A kid. Or I'm sorry, D2 guy. He was a D2 guy. His career, 52 sacks. Jalen beat Terrell Suggs this year or last week.
Yeah.
And
With,
broke the record at
45.
45.
He's got
45
45
sacks
for the career.
for Louisiana Tech. That's an impressive number.
Yeah.
Impressive number. They got him as the 19th player overall in the draft.
Yeah. I knew he was a big time prospect. He's, he looks the part. He looks like that. He looks like a pretty prototypical pass rusher in the NFL.
That's so. Hey, listen, I watched a little bit of that game. I must say, he honestly, they said he kind of reminds them of Terrell Suggs to a degree, but for me, man, I think he's more of a Kendall. Not Kendall, but a Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack, yeah.
Khalil Mack. I'm sorry. The way as physical as he is, as swift as he is.
He's real tall.
Oh man, he moves real well too. Great balance. And another player.
He kind of reminds me of Alden Smith.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, or
Alden Smith. Yep.
Or maybe like a DeForest Buckner. Those tall. But he's got a lot of weight on him. He's 270.
270. Right.
So he'll be
6'5".
Yeah. So he should be a pretty good really, I think you can play him in a 3-4 or a 4-3 as a defensive. As a defense. At 270, you can probably play defensive end in a 3-4, but obviously you put him at outside linebacker. But
now I don't know what his 40 time is. I know we'll get more of that information during the combine, if he participates in running his 40-yard dash, but even
then, when you got that kind of length, you don't really gotta be a burner. If he busts out like a 4.8, he'll be fine.
Oh man, 4.8. Anytime you have 4.8. 4'7", 4'6", defensive ends.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
It is impressive.
That's very impressive. Very impressive. 270 pounds running a 4'6", 4'7".
And I think you're seeing a lot more, especially, just like you're seeing a lot of these defensive linemen that are a little smaller, like Aaron Donald,
right, or
Ed Oliver, even who's a little undersized. Just like you're seeing a lot more technicians.
Speaking of Ed Oliver, what is going on with him?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I know he sat out his bowl game, right?
Yeah, he sat out. If you guys don't know who Ed Oliver is, it's the defensive lineman. Yeah, defensive lineman for Houston.
Yeah, and I've heard people compare him to Aaron Donald, and I just don't. I don't think that's fair to Ed Oliver, because Aaron Donald was an animal in college.
At Pittsburgh, he was a monster. He was a monster. I don't know, man. Ed Oliver is a big question mark for me.
Yeah, I think Nick Bosa is the best player in the draft.
Do you?
Yeah, pretty easily.
Really?
Yeah. Not even close to me. I'm taking Nick Bosa.
Wow.
Who? Let me ask you this: who do you think's better?
I actually like Christian Wilkins myself. Well, they play two different positions.
Wilkins, but you can get Wilkins later in the draft.
Yeah, true. But I don't think
you like him.
I don't know about Bosa because of the fact that I feel like he quit on the entire team this year. I don't want a man like that on my team.
Yeah.
He can't go to war with me.
But at the same time, was the groin injury worse than we thought? Did he not want to, because you're talking about, you got to remember, you're talking about the number 1 overall pick. So all he has is everything. He only has something to lose by playing.
Bro, he had 2 years of film. That's it.
Yeah. So did Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa did the same thing. And how do you know that Urban Meyer didn't tell Nick Bosa that his best course of action would be to shut it down and go train for the NFL? I don't have a problem with it because was pretty much locked in as a top 3 pick, no matter what. So all he's doing, look at it from a business perspective. Mm-hmm. If you could potentially lose millions of dollars by participating in your last 6 games, or guarantee yourself that $1 million, get yourself ready for the combine, and lock yourself in as the number 1 pick, which way are you going to go? Because say the groin injury just kind of lingers, and he ends up tearing it or something like that.
Right.
And it becomes something that he deals with every season for the rest of his career. That's a realistic risk.
It is.
So,
it is.
From that perspective, I don't really. And I think the injury. I was watching the game when he got injured. I think the injury was a lot worse than they said it was, because I remember looking at him on the bench, and the way he was talking to his teammates, I could kind of tell that it was, I remember watching it and saying to my buddy, it looks like he's saying goodbye to everyone.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
So
I agree with that.
I think that the injury was a little bit worse, and they wanted to protect his future, which I'm more for the institution or the coach looking out for the kid. Mm-hmm. And, at the detriment of the team, looking out for the kid's future, I'm for that. So if that's what happened, then I want him on my team. If he just quit on his team, I don't want him on my team. But I don't think that's what happened.
I don't want Nick Bosa.
That's fine.
I don't want him. I am a fan. I'm a fan of him, but I don't want him just because I felt like he quit, bro. I felt like he quit. Now, mind you, he may not do that, but I also don't believe that he's okay. I like this. I like Quentin Williams from Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Rashawn Gary from Michigan.
Yeah.
Now, do I like them over Nick Bosa? I would prefer them myself.
Okay,
over
so
Nick. But he's going to Arizona. I get it. If he's the first pick. Now, I just got a message that said Dwayne Haskins could be going to Tampa. So that would mean he's a junior.
Is he? So he's a redshirt sophomore then?
Yes.
That's interesting.
So if he's going to Tampa, and then you got Nick Bosa, who is potentially the number 1 pick based on what you're saying, going to Arizona, I would if I am Arizona, I'm going D tackle. I'm going D tackle first. But you want to get the best man on the board, I assume that's Nick Bosa. I would go Quentin Williams or Rashawn Gary. I also like Josh Allen. I would pick Josh Allen over Nick Bosa from Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with that.
Especially when you're breaking records.
Yeah.
He's averaging 14.
Yeah. Honestly, what I would do this year is trade down and get a bunch of picks.
Yeah, instead of going defensive lineman.
That's usually what I would do though, because I mean, I feel like it's a lot better to have and with Nick Bosa, I think people are going to be going crazy for him. So you could move down like 4 spots and get a couple first round picks, which is what I would do, especially with the teams at the top of the board. I mean, Oakland, Arizona, you guys got problems everywhere.
Yeah, they do.
Everywhere.
A lot of them.
And look at the Browns. They've been kind of doing that trade stockpile picks thing, and it's worked out pretty well for them.
I agree.
They are actually almost 500 this year, which is incredible.
Hey, what's up with Baker, man? I think he has a big issue with Hugh Jackson than what people know.
That was hilarious. Did you see him turning around, jogging backwards and staring at him and smiling?
Well, they make it seem as though Hugh wanted to get fired.
I don't. Well,
The way
I mean,
Baker's acting, I mean,
the whole team's done that. So they, I mean,
something. It was an internal problem there. It was.
yeah.
It
Well,
was,
they
it was an
just,
internal issue.
I think that he lost the ship a long time ago, and they were just sick of him. Because this is the second time this has happened. I forget who it was, but someone else, the first time they played him, like, threw the ball at him or something.
Really?
Do you remember that?
I didn't see that.
Dude, there was something that happened. I can't remember. I'll have to look that up and figure that out. But I mean, I know that earlier in the season when they played, a player did something similar. But I just, and they haven't exactly been shy about it with the media.
Right. No, they haven't. You can tell there is a problem with Hugh, and it was an ongoing problem, and Hugh Jackson may have been another reason for their downfall. In the beginning of the year.
I think he must have been handcuffing Baker or something. They obviously Baker Mayfield doesn't go after people like that, unless he has a reason. Like that was eerily similar to when he was playing Kansas at Oklahoma and he grabbed his junk at the guy.
Right. That was a funny video.
Yeah.
What he?
I personally love Baker Mayfield's antics. So I think he's the right guy. Moving on from Baker, we got a bunch of bowl games to talk about.
A whole lot of.
This is what we've been waiting for.
A lot of them. Whole bunch of them.
Yeah. So we're going to run through the
unranked teams
in the bowl games.
Was it Duke Temple?
Duke Temple. We talked about that last week. I took Temple. I'm going to stick to it.
I like Temple, but I'm going Dookie. I don't like Duke as a basketball team. I don't like them as a football team. I hate them as a whole. But ultimately, give me the 3 plus 3.5. I like Duke.
I like Temple with the points too. Then we got Wisconsin, Miami, which we got to talk about a little bit because there's been a lot of developments in that. Wow. It looks like Malik Rozier is going to start because Perry can't
Get off of the Snapchat. Hey, listen, man, get off Snapchat, man. What you posting videos like that for? You were just first of all, you were just supposed to send it to her phone. When you close the Snapchat, it go away, baby.
Yeah.
What you doing?
And he put it on his story. So.
Oh, what you doing?
Yeah, not the smartest. So I'm gonna actually flip my pick to Wisconsin on this one.
I'm still going with the U. I still like the U.
Yeah,
what up?
I don't. I like that pick still, but I'm gonna flip it to Wisconsin just because hopefully the Big Ten can get a win there.
Hey, minus 2.5. I'm going Miami.
And then we got Baylor, Vandy.
Trash.
Yeah.
Bold. Yeah, that's right. Hey, I'm going Vandy all day.
Yeah,
all day.
I'll do the
minus
same.
4.
And now we got your guys, Auburn taking on Purdue. How do you feel?
I'm very scared about it. I like Auburn though. Minus 3.5. I'm going with AU all day.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take Auburn just because I like you so much. What? I'm gonna root for Auburn. But Rondale Moore is gonna give you guys problems.
War damn Eagle, not happening. We don't care.
Rondale Moore is probably gonna have 10 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown or 2.
We don't care nothing
Trust
about
me.
him. Nothing.
Oh yeah, you do.
No.
And you will.
Ass whooping.
Yeah.
Auburn, don't let me down this year. You did last year with that Central Florida.
Yep, and Rondale's more better than those kids that killed you last year. So.
Oh, man. Hey, let's talk about something real quick, and I want to know this from you, how you feel about it. Scott Frost has been down in Alabama a lot this past week. Mobile, Birmingham. He been in Georgia, down there in Tuscaloosa. Listen, Scott Frosty, I want you to know we got that. The entire state is already sold up. You can get a few of them. Pickup kids, but I mean,
we snagged the
Amir Abdullah. Don't do yourself.
Well,
like
we got
that.
him too, like but we snagged a top position recruit last year from Alabama. the number one kicker from Hoover.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
have
we
him.
got him.
We don't care about nobody
got
kicking no
him.
balls.
No, I know. That's why Alabama had some trouble.
Hey, we don't care about Alabama kicking no balls, man. And
No,
Alabama, we don't
you
care-
guys have benefited on that. Because if you guys had to play Alabama with kickers, that whole Chris Davis thing never would have happened.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree with
so-
that 100%.
So you do care. You just don't know.
Just a little bit. Just a tad.
Yeah,
A
but
tad.
Husker, Big Red Rising, we're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, so South Carolina,
South
Virginia.
Carolina, Virginia.
South Carolina's 5.5 point favorite.
I like South Carolina all day.
I'll take South Carolina.
Yeah. I'm a big. I like Muschamp's defense. I like what he's putting together down there defensively. I don't really like their offense so much just because of the fact that it's not as productive as I would think it should be by this time. But you know they're doing their best. They're doing their best. So let's go South Carolina all day.
Alrighty.
Over and under is 53. I don't really like the over though. I like the under. I like to be under.
Okay, and then we got Arkansas State and Nevada.
Arkansas State, Nevada, man. I'm going with the South all day. Arkansas State, listen. Nevada's going to be a tough team for Arkansas State just based on the competition that they play against. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, I got Arkansas State with the 1.5. I think there's a W there.
I'm gonna do the same just because the Sun Belt, that's where they're at, right?
Right.
The Sun Belt's been having quite the successful run, so I'm gonna stick with them with the points. Then we got Cincinnati and Vautech. Talking about a Vautech team that started like 5-0 and really, really sucked down the stretch. Cincinnati team that's 11-2 or something like that. 10-3, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
10-2.
10-2. Okay. I'm taking Cincinnati with the -4.5. I don't really have any faith in Vautech at this point.
You know, I believe Cincinnati could get upset here.
I
By
think that they
Virginia
could, yeah. I think
believe
that they
could
could.
get upset here.
So who are you taking?
I'm going Virginia plus 5.5.
Who are you taking to win?
I like Cincinnati with the win,
Okay,
but I like Virginia Tech plus the points though.
cool.
So give me V Tech.
Okay, and then Stanford Pitt. Stanford's a 5.5 point favorite. I'm taking Stanford with the
I'm
points.
taking Stanford too.
Yep, I
I'm taking
have
Stanford
no faith in Pittsburgh at all.
Man, just based on what they did with
Miami at the end of the year.
Miami
Yeah,
game,
that was bad.
it was.
They were terrible.
It was, and then how they didn't show up against Clemson. I don't have faith. I don't have faith in them
Yep.
at all. So
And then we got Michigan State, Oregon. Oregon
Michigan
minus
State,
3.
Oh, Oregon all day. Oregon
I'm taking Michigan State.
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
take.
impressive.
I'm gonna take Michigan State. I think their defense is gonna slow down Oregon.
Well, they just picked up the number one recruit in the country.
Yep, they did. But
From out
good
of
thing
California,
for
defensive lineman.
Michigan State that he doesn't come to town till next year.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Oregon has something special going on up there. I'm going Oregon.
I just like Michigan State's defense.
I don't really think they have much of a defense.
Well, they had one of the best a top 5 defense in the country.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that 100%. But I also believe that Michigan had the number one defense in the country and got blasted with their punk ass.
Okay.
Blast with your punk ass.
So now we move on to the non-appetizer round, the entree round,
The entree.
with the ranked teams.
Okay. What do you have here? We have Virginia. Well, I'm sorry, West Virginia, Syracuse.
Yep, West Virginia without Will Greer.
That's tough.
Yeah, I'm
That's
taking
tough.
Syracuse based off that.
They said that I read this yesterday that the backup they're playing a sophomore. I think his name is Jake. I don't know his last name. Forgot his last name. Jake, he's going to be the starter, and then they have a true freshman that's coming in as well that's going to also be playing. So both quarterbacks will be playing. West Virginia is in trouble here. They're in trouble. I mean, the Jake kid only thrown 10 passes all year.
Yeah.
1 touchdown pass. They're in trouble.
I would agree with that. I'm taking Syracuse. It's Eric Dungy's last game. So I think he wants to go out the right way. I think they get the win. But next game on the ticket, Iowa State, Washington State.
Washington State, or wait a minute. I just have a quick question. Is the quarterback playing though? That is
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew.
I think he's playing.
I'm wondering if Gardner Minshew is playing, and I see that he is based on what the information I have. I don't know. I hadn't read any information that indicates he's not. But if Gardner Minshew is playing, I'm going Washington State. Going Washington State. I want the.
If you saw Gardner Minshew is playing, looks like he showed up looking pretty snazzy.
Pretty dapper.
Yeah.
Pretty dapper there.
He's a character.
Well, I'm going Washington State. Minus the 3. The over and under is 56. I would really stay away from that if I was you guys.
Iowa State does have they're one of those teams in the Big 12 that does have a decent defense.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how this is gonna go, but
that's gonna be a tough
I'm gonna take Washington State with the points.
Well, the next one is Florida, Michigan.
This one's easy for me.
Who you got?
Michigan.
Michigan's missing top linebacker Bush. They're missing Rashawn Gregory. He's not playing. And then they're missing another player. I forgot who.
Yeah, no, I'm not too. Even with those guys gone, their defense is still going to be something that I think Florida will have trouble with. I don't see it from Florida. I think Michigan rolls. I think that if they don't, and if they lay an egg in this game, I think that's bad news for old Harbaugh. I think they got to win this game.
Well, I'm going Gators. I want them Florida boys. Gator Nation, what up? That's where I'm going. I love this game. You know, I think that it's going to be great. 2 great offensive minds. Give me the 6 points plus 6. The over and under is 51. Gator Nation plus 6. Let me take it. I'm taking it. I think that Florida has a really good team. But the last team they played against with some good talent was Georgia. Got demolished by them. And Missouri. Got beat by both of them. I think they have enough talent, though, to beat Michigan. The last team that they played in the SEC was South Carolina. They won 35-31. Idaho blowout. Florida State beat down.
Yep.
So let's go Gator Nation.
All right. So difference of opinion. Then we got Missouri, team you just brought up, and Oklahoma State.
Well, let's go Mizzou. That's who I want. I like their team. I like where they're going.
I like Missouri to win the game, but I like Oklahoma State to cover that 8 points. I think that's kind of that's just too high of a line for me. So I'm taking Oklahoma State to cover, but I like Missouri to win the game.
Really? I think it's gonna be a blowout. I really believe Missouri's gonna blow them away, without question. I don't even think it's gonna be close, honestly.
Well, I mean, you're the one on the heater now, so
yeah, I'm all the way.
Might be something to what you're saying.
Hey, but the over and under is 74. So
over.
I believe that it could go over. I believe it could go over. Honestly, if it does go over, it's because I think that Missouri's going to put up about 56 points.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like the final score is going to be like 52-45 or something like that.
Really? Yeah. I don't think that's going to be. I really
42-35.
I really believe. That. I don't see Missouri scoring more than 28 points.
You mean Oklahoma State or Missouri?
I'm sorry, Oklahoma State scoring more than 28 points. I really don't. I don't see that happening at all.
Alrighty. Well, we will see who is right. Then we got Northwestern and Utah. Utah's a 7.5-point favorite. Who do you got?
This is a tough one for me. I watched the Utah versus Washington game, and it was a defensive game all day. I really love the game myself, but I don't know, man. With Northwestern, they can put up a few points. I'm gonna go with Utah with this. I like Utah.
I'm going Northwestern.
Yeah.
To cover because I don't see Utah putting up that many points against them just because Northwestern's they've hung in there pretty tight with a lot of really good teams. So I'm gonna take Northwestern to cover. I think that they'll edge them out maybe by a point or two, but I wouldn't be surprised either way. But I think it's going to be a real tight game. So as far as that line, I like Northwestern to cover, and I'll say that I like Northwestern to win the game.
You know what? Let me switch that. I'm going with Northwestern in the points. +7. I didn't see that Utah was favorite. I thought Northwestern was favorite. Let me go with Northwestern in those points. I like the +7. Give me the 7 points. I think that they would definitely not get blown out by more than 7 points.
I just this is a huge game for Northwestern.
Yeah, because if Utah does win, I can see it being by 3. Yeah. But I can't see them getting beat by 7
Well, and Northwestern's playing for this is one of their best seasons in school history.
I believe
I think they're playing for a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think I almost believe that Northwestern is just as good as Washington to a degree.
Yeah.
I don't know if their defense is as stellar, but I believe that Northwestern still has a good team up there.
I think so too. And then we got NC State and Texas A&M. Texas A&M's favored by a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm going Jimbo Fisher all day. I like Jimbo Fisher.
Do you like him to cover the whole touchdown though?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I believe that I believe they have something special up there in Texas A&M. I believe they have something special. And then they're playing at TIAA Bank Field. So the weather's gonna be beautiful down there in Jacksonville. I think it's perfect. It feels like it's a home game for them.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I like Texas A&M. I'm little hesitant because the spread is that 7, but I think Texas A&M will do what they're supposed to do, and especially with the long period where Jimbo really get that extra period in between the bowl game and the end of the season makes a huge difference.
It does,
and I think you'll see a Texas A&M team that kind of elevates to where they're heading a little. They're going to take it. This is going to be like a stepping stone game for them, I think. Mm-hmm. So I think they roll. I think they're going to win by 10.
Especially with the recruiting class they have coming in.
Yeah,
it's
they're on the way.
Yeah, they are.
And then we got Mississippi State, Iowa. Mississippi State by a touchdown.
Starkville, Mississippi. That's where I'm going all day.
This one I'm kind of torn on.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because Iowa is the most random team ever. Well, and Mississippi State is, they're limited in the passing game due to, Nick Fitzgerald. But in Iowa's, really, I think their strong suit is being physical and playing that style of game. So I think Mississippi State will win, but I think Iowa keeps it close.
Really?
So I think Iowa's going to cover that 7.
Oh, man. Yeah, I actually have Mississippi State beating them by probably about 10 myself. The over and under is 43. I like that. I can see 28-14 type of game.
Yeah.
But I got Mississippi State all day.
I don't blame you. It's really hard for me to say that I'm taking Iowa because
I'm a SEC junkie.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you hate two things so much in Iowa and the SEC, where I can't really win here.
Yep, you shouldn't.
I wish both of them could lose. So, moving on, another SEC team, LSU.
Baton
Favored by
Rouge.
7.5 points against UCF.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hey, what's up? I'm going Baton Rouge all day.
Give me
All day.
UCF.
Plus 7.5. I like it. I like that. I like the fact that they're playing another SEC team, and I also believe that it's they coming to bring the pressure. Now, mind you, it's about 3 players that are not playing for LSU, but I still want them. Still want them. I like this game. I like this game, and I'm gonna be glued to the TV watching this game. So,
I'm taking UCF. I don't think Greedy Williams is not playing, right?
no.
Okay. I like UCF. I like their receivers. They've got a guy named Gabe Davis who is a stud.
He is.
He kind of reminds me a little bit of like a poor man's version of Mike Evans, because he's just big tall dude that seems to catch everything that goes his way. So I like that matchup. I like UCF. I think they're gonna pull the upset for the second year in a row
It's not happening.
on your weak ass SEC.
Not happening. Not happening.
That's exactly what he said last year.
No.
And it
it's
did
not.
happen.
It's not happening this year, baby.
Moving on. Kentucky, Penn State.
Kentucky. I'm going Kentucky plus 6.5. Kentucky plus 6.5. Defense has been great with Josh Allen. I don't believe Josh Allen is playing, but I think that they have what it takes to push the needle forward. I like Benny Snell,
Yep.
running back out of Kentucky, and I'm not really sold on Terry Wilson.
I'm not at all. He's not the guy.
But he'll get it done. I think Terry Wilson will get it done for Kentucky. That'll move them past Penn State in this game. Now let me ask you, what do you think about Trace this year? Do you think that he was as good as he was? Do you think his numbers this year compared to how good he was last year
I mean, I don't.
pushes him?
What did he finish?
To the NFL.
He was very. I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know. I think there might be a position switch in his future, maybe a slot receiver
Yeah, I
type
can see
guy,
that.
but
I can see
I worry about how he's going to be able to hold up taking NFL shots, and because he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's tough as nails, and I like him. He's a competitor. I just think he's one of those college quarterbacks that would be better off going like the Julian Edelman route.
I
and
agree.
Converting,
Yeah, I think his percentage dropped to 53% this year. From last year, he was at 65%.
Yeah.
He
I
has
just
10 less touchdowns.
Well, and I just think
Saquon Barkley's.
yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at. Is I think most of that was Saquon.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about a dip of 12% completion rate, and that I think is you can really attribute to Saquon, just because you don't like. Saquon was the guy that first off he had a bunch of catches every game, so that's going to help, and those are normally like little screen passes, so that's going to help your completion percentage. Not only that, he was a really good pass protection guy.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was a great third down back, and he took so much focus away from the receivers. You really couldn't double cover anyone in the secondary. You had to plan you had to make sure that you had Saquon double, triple teams. Sometimes that didn't even matter. So I think Saquon leaving, I think this year is a better picture, or a better, representation of where Trace McSorley actually is, just because you don't have that, one of the best running backs in college football history, really, in your backfield.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting
Yeah.
to see how efficient he will be up against some. I think Kentucky has some top talent, so we'll see if he comes to play.
Yep. Exactly.
Washington, Ohio State.
So, I didn't actually make my pick for that last one. I'm gonna
who you
take.
got? I'm sorry, my man.
No, you're fine. I'm gonna take. I think Kentucky definitely covers the 6.5.
I know you was.
But
gonna
I think
stop it. You don't believe the other part.
with Josh Allen out, I think Penn State has a better shot. But I'm gonna say I think Kentucky's gonna win this by like a point or two.
So you got Penn State plus the 6. Oh no, you don't. You
No,
got, you got
I'm
Kentucky. You
taking
got
Kentucky.
Yeah, so plus the 6. Yeah, I'm with it. I got that too. All day. Washington, Ohio State. What we got?
I'm taking Ohio State.
OSU. I'm going OSU too.
Yeah.
Offensively, Browning is not it for Washington. You know, he's been there for a few years. Yes, we understand that, but I like Ohio State's defense at their last few games. They've stepped it up tremendously. We would know Washington has a great defense. They're in the pack.
Yeah. But Washington's defense is nowhere near the level of Michigan's defense.
It's not.
And we just saw Ohio State absolutely
Obliterate
them. And this is going to be is Urban Meyer even coaching this game?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't
it's
know.
going to be his send-off.
Yeah.
So,
And Dwayne Haskins is going to be his last game too.
yeah, well,
So, big game.
big game.
Texas, Georgia. Georgia.
I'm going to take the Longhorns. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. Georgia's going to destroy them.
I like Georgia too. Minus 13. I think that's going to happen.
I think they beat them by 20.
Now, those primetime games. We have Notre Dame, Clemson, Oklahoma, Alabama. The line for Alabama, the Alabama game is 14. The line for Clemson is 13. Listen, I don't like any of these spreads.
I don't either. This is when you're talking about the 4 teams that have a combined 1 loss. These spreads are pretty high.
I don't like the spreads. But I do like Alabama. I do like Alabama here.
I like Alabama to win, but 14 points is a lot. What did they beat Georgia by? 7?
Yep. They beat Georgia by 7. Georgia. I'm going to be honest with you. I really believe Alabama's going to beat the dog shit out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma's going to cover. I think they'll lose by 10.
Shit, no.
I think they're going to lose by 10 points.
No. Let me tell you how it's going to be. Rammer, jammer, little hammer, give 'em hell, Alabama.
See,
Hey,
and this is
it's over.
But this is
It's
why
over. It's a
this is why I
beatdown.
say this. I think Oklahoma's gonna get a garbage. I think they're gonna be
No
down
garbage.
by like
They're not gonna. No.
17. And
No.
I think they're gonna score.
Nick Saban's not giving you that. Nick Saban's not going to give you. Listen, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why this is a personal thing for Alabama, because they just watched their top one of their top players get shafted by someone that they didn't think that was better than him. No one in the SEC thought Kyler Murray was better than Tua. I don't think. Now,
Well,
I mean,
no one in the SEC thinks anyone's better than an SEC player. So
I don't. I think they're gonna. I think what's gonna happen is Alabama's gonna blitz all night, and they're gonna show you how dominant they are. That's the only reason I like Alabama here. I like Alabama here because they're gonna show you how dominant they are. They're gonna show you why they're the best team in the country. They're gonna also show you what it takes to be a champion, and it's not Oklahoma. They don't have a defense. Defense is gonna win this game. And offense is going to show you that they're stellar and they have the best quarterback in the country.
Okay. I think you've convinced me. I'm going to flip. I'm going to go Alabama's going to cover. And the reason why I think that is because I think that Tua is going to come. The Heisman thing.
Yeah, it's a
I
problem.
think Tua's probably going to think that he deserved that. And I mean,
he should hit the Heisman polls on Kyler Murray punk
he's not
ass.
going to do that.
He should hit the Heisman polls on him. Show him. Yittity. Hey, I don't care. I don't care who wins this shit. F both of them for me. I'm going to be honest with you. Clemson, Notre Dame. What you got?
Clemson. Clemson,
Notre Dame. Hey, listen, I got Clemson too. I like them to cover the 12.5 myself. It was 13 earlier. I like them to cover the 12.5. Hey, listen, if it was up to me, if you guys could, put in a teaser bet for this, and the teaser bet will give you the 5 points or the 6 points. Therefore, I think that without question, it helps you out with your bet.
Yeah, I'll take Clemson, but I don't like them to cover. I think
I like them to cover.
I think they've struggled a little bit against the pass, and I think Notre Dame is so there's a lot of parallels to the 2012 game. Like this Clemson team kind of reminds me of that 2012 Alabama team a little bit, with a more prolific quarterback than the 2012 Alabama team, but maybe a little less gifted on the offensive line and running back position, because you've got to remember that they had Eddie Lacy and Trent Richardson back on that team.
Well, wait a minute, hold on. I jumped over this. Alabama is missing 3 players, so 3 players did not travel with their team. Dante Brown was their starter. I don't think that matters, though, and I don't think that changes the game plan at all.
When you're talking about Alabama, you could wipe out all their first teamers and still have 5-star guys everywhere.
Yeah,
so.
Dante Brown missing or not traveling with the team is not going to be a problem. They're going to beat the dog shit out of Oklahoma. So who do you got? Clemson?
I got Clemson.
And the points?
I got Notre Dame on the points. I got Clemson to win, though.
Well, the over and under for the Clemson Notre Dame game is 55, and then the over and under for the Alabama game is 77. I believe that you can take the under on the Alabama Oklahoma game. So if you're betting that, bet the under, because I don't think it's going to get to 77. So I think that's a lock, though, by the way. I think that 77 points is a lock.
For which game?
For the over and under for Alabama and Oklahoma. I think that's a lock. Under
So
all day.
Under? You think it's okay?
Yeah.
I was going to say over. I would be. That's. Man, I don't. I'm kind of torn on that. That over under. You know how I feel about over unders, but
exactly.
77. It could, but I don't think so. If it did, Nick Saban would be the most upset you've ever seen him.
Hey, well, those are our picks, guys. All of our picks for the bowl games, we made them. Grant told you we were going to make them.
We did it.
We did it, guys. We did it.
Every single bowl game.
Hey, well, good luck. Hey, good luck with your bowl picks, guys. And if you don't have the money to make the bet, don't make the bet. But if you do, make sure you take the bet. Hey, we love you all.
So Taves had his kids up in here.
Yeah, man. My babies came with me, man. School was out.
Yeah, it might have hurt a little bit, but man, they were quiet the whole time. They've been great. So, gonna have them do the outro after you're done with your spiel.
Hey, for
but,
sure, man.
Man, you got some great kids.
Hey, thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
My little girl G is with me. Royce is with me. My king and my oldest boy Christian.
Yeah,
they're all with me today. It's beautiful, man. You know, one thing I want you to know, and you know, I don't really talk about it a lot to people, but I always mention my kids to everyone, because the first thing I am before I'm anything else is a father. And that's the most beautiful thing God has done for me, and God has given me the ability to have his children. And, you know, without them, I would not be who I am today.
Yeah, no, and it, you know, makes me look forward to starting a family one day myself.
Yeah,
so
it's a beautiful thing.
I hope
man.
my kids are as well behaved as yours.
Hey, shout out to my wife Amanda. What's up, baby? I love you. I want you all to know, man, you know, life with children, you know, life in marriage, it's a beautiful thing.
Follow us on Twitter at 110 Ocean Drive. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to get alerts when new episodes go live, click on the bell icon after you subscribe.
Also, let us know what you think about the stuff we talked about today down in the comment sections.
I got the summer on lock, and the winter too. Let me show you what a winner do. Stay stunned, but you broke while you frontin'. We the topic of discussion, got the summer on lock, and the winter too. Let me show you what a winner do. Stay stunned, but you broke while you frontin'. We the topic of discussion, got the summer
Nigga,
on
I'm
lock.
so far ahead of my time, I'm about to start another life. You a target, I'll probably blast you twice. Alky rapping with the passion of Christ. Curveball through the eye of the storm, I am the calm for disaster can strike. The rocks on that watch on that dial gon' shine loud on you hustlers who out there in brownstones like the Huxtables. Y'all Y'all came to be euthanized. I can't be dehumanized. I ain't even human. I'm painting communion wine. Cruising in that rave, dog, like we came to offend haters. Shoot a nigga face off like his neighbor is Tim Taylor. Racketeer in charge. Tennis match in the yard. Y'all can finish that whack shit, then it's back to the gods. I'm in the Maybach right now trying to innovate. I'm too